Did you know that 67% of marriages end due to a communication breakdown? According to a study by the Gottman Institute, lack of open and honest communication is one of the top predictors of relationship failure. If you're holding back your true thoughts, emotions, and desires in a relationship, you might think you're avoiding conflict, but in reality, you're slowly destroying the foundation of trust and intimacy. Withholding is when you intentionally suppress your feelings, opinions, or needs to avoid conflict, rejection, or discomfort. It's often mistaken for keeping the peace, but in reality, it fosters resentment, misunderstanding, and emotional distance. In a world where communication is at our fingertips, why are we still so afraid to be real with the people we love? We live in a time where we're conditioned to avoid conflict at all costs. From childhood, we're rewarded for compliance and punished for speaking out. The workplace often values employees who keep their heads down rather than challenge the status quo. Social media algorithms push feel-good content while suppressing difficult conversations. But this problem goes deeper. Media portrays certain groups, especially Black individuals, women, and marginalized communities, as inherently conflictual or aggressive. To counteract this narrative, many people feel the pressure to overcompensate, to be overly agreeable, to prove daily that they are not confrontational. The result? They suppress their authentic selves to fit into society's mold of what is acceptable behavior. Look at mainstream movies, TV shows, and corporate environments. Submissiveness is often rewarded, while assertiveness, especially from certain demographics, is met with backlash. If you challenge authority or speak up for yourself, you're labeled difficult. Even religion and politics have ingrained in us the idea that suffering and enduring oppression is noble. Many faith-based teachings promote turning the other cheek, even in unjust situations. Politicians tell people to be grateful for the scraps they receive, spinning inequity into a virtue. But here's the question: how does tolerating mistreatment or injustice ever equate to being blessed? That logic simply doesn't add up. So what's the alternative? Authenticity, radical honesty. Radical honesty means living in alignment with your true feelings and needs. It does create conflict in the short term, but that discomfort is temporary. In the long term, radical honesty leads to a life of ease and peace, both for yourself and those around you. Let's be clear, radical honesty is not about tearing people down or using brutal honesty as an excuse to be mean. That's just cruelty disguised as truth. Radical honesty is about you. It's about clearly expressing what you want, need, and feel in a way that is both direct and kind. The reality is, if you have to withhold parts of yourself in a relationship, that relationship is inherently unhealthy. You may have reasons. Maybe you fear losing the person. Maybe you don't want to upset them. Maybe you don't want the fight. But at the end of the day, by continuing to withhold, you are choosing that life. And if you choose it, you can't complain about it. Withholding is killing your relationship, whether it's with a partner, a friend, a family member, or even yourself. Conflict avoidance doesn't create peace. It creates a slow, silent erosion of trust and connection. The antidote? Radical honesty. It's not always easy and it's not always comfortable, but it's the only way to build truly fulfilling relationships. So it's time to stop withholding and start living authentically.